Hi, this is Joe again with another review. But instead of doing a review, since I'm getting to a scary movie theme because Halloween is about a month away, instead of doing a movie review, I'm going to do a review of Halloween themed animated specials. I only want to do a couple of them. And most of these shows, except for one I'm going to start off with. Most of these shows, unfortunately, are on cable TV only, if that. And well, it's a shame because most kids, not everybody can afford. Even though most people do have cable nowadays, a lot of people can't afford it, or lost their jobs and get rid of the cable, so they don't have it. So they're deprived of seeing these animated specials because they're all on cable, like ABC Family or something. So anyway, the first, special that actually was the classic, The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, and a friend of mine, TV trash, Chris Lee Moore, has done a show on this, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this one. Of course, actually, everybody knows the story because it's constantly been airing since 1966 when it first came on television on CBS. And now since 1999, it's been airing on the ABC network. Of course, the story is because Linus rang the pumpkin patch on Halloween night, waiting for the Great Pumpkin to show up. Which of course all the other Peanuts characters make fun of him because there's no such thing as Great Pumpkin. Well, there's no such thing as Santa Claus, and everybody believes in Santa Claus more than the Great Pumpkin does. And actually, of course, he stays up all night, doesn't see him. And of course, the other two big things on the show is, of course, Snoopy finding the Red Baron. But they're always usually the best sequence, the most eagerly awaited sequence in the whole special. And the other big joke is that Charlie Brown doesn't get any candy for Halloween. He in the whole history, 50-year history of the comic strip, he never got any candy for Halloween. Because Charlie Shorts always likes to punish Charlie Brown all the time for some reason. Because they're always born loser and stuff. It's like in the TV Trash Review on NowAC.com, you can see, why. How do the people in the town know who he is? But it is definitely the most quintessential Halloween special, which is The Great Pumpkin. If you ever get a chance to see it, naturally it's probably airing on ABC TV, the ABC network, in about a month from now. So that's The Great Pumpkin, and it's definitely one of my favorite Halloween shows. The other show that I'm going to do is talk about, well, I don't have a video of it, I don't know if there is one, called the Fat Albert Halloween Show, which is a cartoon that I grew up with watching during the 1970s. And it was worked by Bill Cosby and Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids. And it was one of the better Halloween shows. And I don't know why it's not on regular television anymore. I think it's on like Bounce TV if you don't have cable, and if you have a digital tune on your TV, you might pick this particular channel up. But that is about Halloween, and Fat Albert and the gang goes out doing all these trick or treating, and goes out for trick or treating, goes out to see a scary movie, and this kid wants to do all this tricks on older people. Because older people always don't treat us with respect, all that stuff, so let's put tricks on them. And Fat Albert gets on his look, you can't keep putting tricks on these people. And we really did try to do one on the old guy. He's always going right off the ground. And the little movies, the guy terrorizes the usher who works at the movie theater, and of course this so-called spooky old lady in the neighborhood. But unfortunately, none of that stuff actually works out, and the old lady at the end of the show was pretty cool to all the kids and stuff, but she's been widowed and lives by herself in his old house, an old part of town. So I figured, old people are pretty cool. It's what the message is at the end of the show. But it's been one of the better ones. And unfortunately, it doesn't get the recognition as being a good Halloween show because it has been on regular TV for at least 20 years. More or less, about almost like 20 years since it's been on regular television. Well, the other show I'm going to talk about is the Quite Halloween show, which aired like during the 80s, so it aired like 10 years or so in a row, approximately. And that is the scariest one of all the animated shows. And of course, it's quite fun. Mostly, it's quite fun. All these adventure genre was not quite for its own. Quite fun on its own. You don't see that much. And the premise is that instead of going trick or treating, they dress up like pirates, and they decide to go to this island, which is across the river. Maybe because nobody goes over there. Let's see if there's more candy over there. So again, this fella's little boat, go to the island, go to the spooky house, find this old guy in there, and says, there's going to be ghosts coming here tonight. And the pirates from this thing 100 years ago. And 100 years ago tonight, you'll see them, they're going to be coming back and reclaim the treasure. And you do see the ghosts in the end of the movie. The special. And they leave. They scare only and quite for almost to death, and they escape. And they did find the boat that they came on. They lost the boat. They walk around the island, and they found the boat, and they leave, and then come back home, and everything was okay in the end of the show. But two of them was pretty spooky. That was some of the songs were pretty good too. Some with little roles, and that one was one of the better and scarier ones. And you can find all these shows, I think, except for the Big Pumpkin Trolley, but you can find all of them on YouTube. The other one I always remember watching is the Bugs Bunny show. The problem with the Bugs Bunny show was the fact that they did some new clips, and they combined it with a lot of the older cartoons that we watched for, like, since the 40s or the 50s. And they took the cartoons like 30 or 40 years old maybe, and combined it with new scenes, and they combined it with the old Halloween episodes, like the one with Bugs Bunny with the witch. He's disguised as a witch or going out trick or treating, and the famous witch is practically talked about every Halloween themed cartoon or animated short, and that was pretty good special despite that bit. And what else? Pretty good show. And unfortunately, like I said, except for Charlie Brown, the other two shows are now on television and on regular TV, as I like to call it. And it's a shame. It's a shame that you don't see it, because like most of the shows for Christmas time, Christmas specials, so the same thing. You only can count on one hand how many Christmas specials on regular TV today. Same thing with Halloween shows. Only Charlie Brown is the only one that's on TV. All the other shows, like I mentioned, are all on cable. Which, that's why one thing you don't like about cable is if you don't have it, you can't see anything. Can't see anything new. You can't see most of the shows that were nominated last week for the Emmy Awards. You can't see it because it's on AMC or TCM or some of these other cable networks that's exclusively to that, and you can't see it. Same thing with the Christmas shows, specials. Except for, of course, for Charlie Brown, Rudolph, and Frosty. I think Santa Claus is coming to town as well. We're all on regular television now. Everything else is on cable, and it's really a shame, because kids whose parents can't afford cable, they can't allow their kids to see the specials that I grew up with, or most of you grew up with, you know they're all on cable TV. So this is my review for the Halloween specials, and of course the most famous Halloween, one of the better Halloween shows, I feel, is the Disney Halloween show, which came out in 1983. I think it was a part of the ABC, the Disney, Wide World of Disney show. But then every year since 1983 up to, I don't know how long they keep airing that. It's on, it's on, the Disney Network, the Disney Channel, and they used to come out with that, and it was pretty good. It's like an hour and a half long, but they show a lot of the old Disney clips, and most of the clips they show were not scary. Except for maybe like the beginning part of it, when they show a clip from movie, I forgot which movie it was. They had old classical music and stuff on. Anastasia, I think. Not Anastasia. I forgot what the name of it was. I don't know if it's Anastasia. I don't remember it. But they had a sequence in the Bold Mountain sequence in the very beginning of the show, and they show another cartoon with this windmill with animals and this windmill, old windmill. And a storm comes along and destroys the windmill. They had that. But most of the clips, it's not that particularly scary, except for they show cartoons of the villains. And they have one main sequence when they have the villains, some of the Disney features. And that was about it. But for the most part, it's a pretty good Halloween show. What's the last thing they show was that famous Halloween cartoon with Daffy Duck going against with Huey, Dewey, and Louie, and a witch, and the witch gets even with them because Donald stiffs the three nephews with Halloween candy. They did put them a trick instead of treating them. So to get the revenge, because she didn't like the way the kids were treated, instead of getting even put a spell on Donald, and that was how what happened. Of course, I saw the other famous cartoon with Goofy, Donald, and Goofy, Donald, Goofy, and Mickey being the original Ghostbusters, not the famous 1984 movie, which I might get into another review. The famous cartoon with them as Ghostbusters. They were the original Ghostbusters. Unfortunately, it had to be Donald, Goofy, and Mickey. But those were the two most famous scary, or quote unquote scary cartoons that they had. But that was the Disney Halloween show, and those were my favorite Halloween shows that they were animated shows. Of course, and also another one I just remember was Raggedy Ann and Andy. Of course, actually most kids who watch this video don't know who Raggedy Ann and Andy are, but there was two dolls, and they were very popular dolls for most of the 20th century. I think it's like the 20s or 30s up to maybe the 80s, because they made like a full-length animated movie, which I think you can find on YouTube, and other animated specials like Christmas show and Easter show, and they did one for Halloween, which was called The Pumpkin That Couldn't Smile, I think it was. And that was an okay one, not great, but entertaining enough for kids. It wasn't all that scary for kids, not like the Goyfield show, which was kind of scary for little kids. About like 4 or 5 year olds, maybe scary for them. But if you're like 10 years old, or half the age, at 10 years old, you can watch the Goyfield show, or the Fat Albert one, which is pretty good. But those were my favorite animated Halloween specials that came out. And like I said, except for good old Snoopy, good old Charlie Brown here, most of them are on cable, and you can try and catch it if you can on cable throughout the next month. Because I'm sure there's going to be these shows, except for Charlie Brown. All these other shows are going to be repeated to death over the next month. So, like I said, if you're lucky enough to afford cable, you could see it. So I hope you like this review, and catch you next time. Maybe go back to a regular movie review. Maybe soon, hopefully, if you have the time this week. Thank you for watching, and like the video, comment, and please subscribe to my channel if you can. Thank you for watching.